Mexico's president slamming calls for U.S. military action against drug cartels. In an outrageous claim, he says his country, does not produce or consume fentanyl. But the DEA says Mexican cartels traffic the majority of the deadly drug in the U.S. Republican Congressman Dan Crenshaw says eliminating the cartels is in the interests of both countries. Listen.
I'm here for the American people and I'm here for the Mexican people. The Mexican people want to get rid of the cartels. The Mexican people don't like that they produce fentanyl, sell it. By the way, they do sell it in their country. Of course, there's drugs in Mexico, just like there's drugs here. It's all produced in Mexico. The precursors come from China. AMLO lets that happen. He lets his cartels operate with impunity.
Fox and Friends weekend co-host Pete Hegseth joins us on set right now. Pete, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So glad we've got you on this one. Okay, so failed border policy, obviously deadly both in our country, in Mexico. We're seeing that. The Mexican president is essentially mocking the U.S. and saying, we don't produce this. It's not a problem for us. So you've got a lot of people talking about military options. You're the guy to ask about this. I know you're very skeptical about projecting power in different situations. What do you think about this?
Well, I'm more skeptical about projecting power in places like Ukraine, where the national interest is more tenuous, especially after the lessons of the last 20 years that we learned in Iraq and Afghanistan. Our own southern border with terrorist-like organizations poisoning our population seems a lot like the national interest, and something we should be doing to protect our own sovereignty and our own kids, and sex trafficking and human trafficking. I mean, AMLO says there's no drug. Is he meaning to say, no, we actually have the complete monopoly on fentanyl?
Oh, thank you.
That's the correct statement would be. I mean, they produce all of it, or at least after they get the cursory chemicals in the United States. If it takes military action, that's what it may take eventually. Obviously, you're going to have to be smart about it. Obviously, the precision strikes. But if you put the fear in the minds of the drug lords, at least as a start, that they can't operate in the open with impunity, changes the way they operate. You combine that with actual border security, with a new administration, not going to happen with this one. Now you're cooking with gas, and you've got a chance.
Can I just ask you about this move that the cartel made? Essentially, they came out and they turned in these 5 people, these men that they said they believe are behind this deadly kidnapping of the Americans, and they're tying them up, and they're leaving this handwritten apology and making this, you know, very sort of movie-like, grandiose kind of statement, and basically saying, oh, see, it's all over. Let's kiss and make up. Here you go. How should we respond to this?
I think that's the cartel version of a press release.
Yeah.
We are not responsible for this. Don't crack down on us and disrupt our business. This is a business for them that's become highly profitable between drugs and people. If they admit to this or pound their chest about it, now they have the ire potentially of the U.S. government or U.S. military on their doorstep. They don't want that.
But can you believe that they'll actually say that? I mean, to me, the only way a cartel would say something like that is because they believe somebody on the other side of the table is going to listen to it and say, you know what, you're right, we're not going to disrupt this. I mean, I think that's an indication of how they think about the Biden administration.
That's how they view the Biden administration.
They would say this. Like, they'll actually comply. They'll actually take us seriously when we say something like this.
I find it so interesting because this is a president who has slammed the energy industry, constantly saying that they're making record profits off the backs of Americans. Yet when you talk about the human trafficking and the profits that are made on drugs that come into this country, the cartels are making somewhere from between $40 and $50 billion a year. He's not upset about that.
No, I mean, a comparison is when the Biden administration walks into negotiations with China, they walk in with climate change as priority number one. I mean, that's what the rest of the world views, is we're fundamentally unserious in dealing with actual threats at our doorstep. Why wouldn't the cartel think, maybe this will get the State Department and the administration off our backs? They're looking for an excuse to do nothing.
I'm making a hard left turn here. We'll sit you down. We won't quiz you on the second largest U.S. bank failure that we just saw in history.
It's not good.
But talk to me about sort of the ramifications. Galaxy Digital, Binance, they both come out and said we did not bank with SVB. They want to be very clear that they sort of are not connected and don't have any ties to that. What ramifications, if any, do you see within sort of crypto and that sphere? And how's my Ethereum portfolio doing?
Well, your Ethereum portfolio, like mine, not doing so well.
Okay, thank you.
Because New York State is now looking to regulate in that space with more. And this could lead to additional regulation and oversight. When banks fail, the regulators come in and say what happened and why did it happen. But you guys are the experts on why it collapsed, and I just know it can't be good.
I love that we can take Pete Hegseth and go from
he
border
can do crypto.
Like that,
he could do anything.
all the way to crypto. And of course, you know Pete's a big crypto guy. So
I am.
yeah.
I was thinking they would go. Bitcoin might go over 25 and Ethereum over 2,000. That was kind of my break-even point, and now it's careening back in the other direction.
It could just take a longer time, as we talked about, sort of the impact from rising rates. It could just be an asset that takes longer to get.
It hasn't been a hedge yet. I'm waiting for it to be a hedge, and it hasn't seemed to do that.
I'm going to make another turn, bring us right back here to New York City. Mayor Eric Adams, he's talking about the fact that he wants to send as many as 100 New York City migrants to college for free, courtesy of the New York taxpayer. That's all of us sitting right here. Pete, you have gone off to greener pastures.
And our Ethereum holdings.
But having said that, this is not just a border state problem anymore. This has become a problem across the country. You're seeing cities and states having to make provisions for migrants that are just going to cost us all a ton more.
Yeah, it's a free lunch problem for illegals. If you give more benefits to people who come here illegally, you will get more illegality. Either you have borders or you can't have both open borders and a welfare state, as Milton Friedman famously said. At this point, we have both, which means we're asking for more to come. I look at this and I say, you know what? I think it was 6 or 7 members of my platoon at Guantanamo Bay who were not citizens when they joined us on our first deployment. And one of the jobs I enjoyed the most was helping them go through the citizenship process while they were wearing camouflage to earn their citizenship in the United States.
Wow.
That's what it should look like for people who are not already citizens. Instead, you run across the border, you get free tuition.
Yeah.
The GI Bill's there if you want to do it.
Yeah. There's a right way and there's a wrong way. And I think a lot of people are saying we're incentivizing the wrong way. And that is just so dumb.
Absolutely.
Pete Hegseth, thanks for dropping
guys.
by.
You guys have a great show.
This was really fun.
Love it.
Good to see you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.